Do you ever find that you have tightness in the backside of your pelvis that you just can't get to let go? This might also kind of present itself as having SI joint pain, pelvic floor tightness, or tenderness on your tailbone. Well, we're going to try a little bit of a release work with a slight spin on it to see if we can get that area to open up. So commonly when people will use a ball for a release or a foam roller, they'll kind of just roll the ball up and down on the muscle. What we're going to do here instead is we're going to use the ball to sink into the muscle and kind of tack that muscle down as we then turn our body away from that area. We can kind of think about how it's helping to peel the muscle off of the bone in a sense when everything feels like it's just glued down and all stuck together with it. So what we're going to do is we're going to use this ball against a wall. We can start off up high, kind of working our way across, and then you're going to progressively work your way down and find what area feels the most tender. You might have a different location that's tender on one side versus the other, or one side that's tender and the other side that's not. So hang out on the spot that feels a little bit more tender, but again, with any kind of release work, we're always making sure we can relax into it and breathe and visualize the muscle melting. So we're going to end up having the ball here. So if this is the center of my pelvis and my sacrum, that triangle bone up top, I'm going just to the side of it so I can kind of feel that muscle belly here. I'm going to think about sinking into the wall with my weight, and then I'm going to turn my pelvis towards that side. So I'm thinking about the front of my hips turning towards it, which makes the back of the hips turn away and helps give that peeling away effect. So let me show you over here on the wall. And I like using the wall because then you can kind of grade the pressure with how much you kind of lean back into it. So I'm going to have those knees soft. I have that ball just to the side of the center of my pelvis. I'm kind of leaning back into it. And then I'm going to think about trying to keep that pressure back on the ball as I turn my hips here. So you can see how my right knee is kind of coming forward. My pelvis is turning towards the left. So the ball is helping to pull my left butt cheek muscles away from the midline. And you can kind of, go slowly, maybe pause a little bit if it feels a little tender, feels like it wants to grip, see if it can let go. And then we can go back. We can then move further down. And so as we get further down, if we stay upright, the ball is going to just kind of drop down to our feet. So for further down, you might have to kind of bend over a little bit more. And again, kind of set that ball there. It's helpful. You can use a tennis ball. This is a lacrosse ball that's kind of sticky or tacky. It's better than something that's slippery with it. And just kind of ease into it and see what feels best for you. Sometimes with a tennis ball, it kind of gives too much rather than you being able to sink into your muscles itself. So as I'm here, I can bend over a little bit more to help get it kind of up and in there. And then again, I can rotate and feel the area kind of open up. I can also pause here and take some deep breaths, thinking about breathing into my back, breathing in between my sit bones here. And then exhale and try to make sure that space stays nice and open on the exhale. You can also experiment a little bit with having it in that position and then kind of sliding down. Again, now we're kind of lifting the muscles up, or now we're sliding the muscles down as I push my legs away and go up, and just kind of experimenting what direction feels like it doesn't glide or move as well, right? We want everywhere to be able to move freely. So if you kind of go in one direction, it doesn't go as well, then you want to hold it for about that kind of 3 out of 10 tension. And then as you hold it there, you can feel it kind of let go and give a little bit more. Now, that being said, sometimes people do better with the opposite. So sometimes if you go into the area of tension, things can kind of tighten up. So instead, you might go in the direction that it moves more freely. And then it's kind of like a sneak attack of that you're not really having that muscle feel threatened. So by going into that area or that direction that doesn't feel harder to go into, you kind of let it relax a little bit and then go into the area that was initially more restricted and see if it feels a little bit better with it. But hopefully after doing that for 30 seconds or a minute or so, everything feels a little bit more free and able to move. And then maybe when you go to do your loaded lower leg stuff, that it just feels easier to feel that pelvis open up, feel that nice glute lengthening to better be able to access that glute max and get those deep hip rotators to let go.